Launchbar from Objective Development and Alfred from Running with Crayons are a pair of excellent utilities that are more alike than different, which is why I've lumped them together for this lesson. You only need one or the other, but both of them are so good and so reliable and have such sweet user interfaces, I can't really recommend one or the other. I like them both a lot. So, well, here's the thing. Each of them does things a bit differently from the other one, and each has some features that the other one doesn't. Now, since both of them have free trials, I recommend you try them both and then decide which one you're going to pay for. You might not even have to pay. I'll tell you about that at the end. All right, so they're both utilities that hang out silently in the background until you summon them via a hotkey. Then you can initiate a wide variety of useful activities by typing just a few characters. Or, to put it another way, they both let you do a ton of time-saving tasks without touching the mouse or the trackpad, and they both excel at finding files, launching applications, starting web searches, and performing other routine tasks, all without removing your fingers from the keyboard, which is really important when you're trying to save time. As it should be. Now here's why I love these apps so much. It's so much faster to just type 2 or 3 characters than to find and open an application or a document almost any other way. Plus, both of these apps include a myriad useful features, tons, as you'll soon see, in addition to the type a few character trick. So they save you even more time and eliminate the need for several other third-party applications. We'll start with Launchbar, which I've used for over a decade. In my 2004 review for the Houston Chronicle, I said, and I quote, "Launchbar is one of the most useful Mac applications of all time. Press its hotkey and type a few letters and it will find everything on your hard disk or disks that matches, be it a document, application, folder, contact, URL, and all in the blink of an eye. And Launchbar learns as you use it. So when you type PHO and select Adobe Photoshop from the resulting list, and do that a couple of times, Launchbar assumes that you usually are going to want Photoshop when you type PHO and moves Photoshop to the top of the list. So you can just press return or enter to launch it, or you can use the arrow keys or your mouse to choose a different item. Here's what I said. Try it for 2 weeks and you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. After invoking Launchbar, this is not from the article, this is me talking again. After invoking Launchbar with my hotkey, which is Control Spacebar, and typing PHO, this is what I see here, right in the middle of my screen. Right, so this is one of the fastest ways you can find and launch an application or any file on your Mac. But wait, there's so much more. So in addition to finding and opening your files, both Launchbar and Alfred let you do things like manage events and reminders, look up contacts, do web searches, perform calculations, control iTunes, and copy, move, or rename files. And those are just a few of the things. There's a lot more, really a lot more. So say it with me this time. All without touching the mouse or trackpad. Okay, you might be thinking that Spotlight can do these things. And you'd be partially correct, but both Launchbar and Alfred get smarter and smarter when you use them. So for example, they both quickly realized that when I typed PHO, I was almost always launching Photoshop, even though it starts with ADO for Adobe. All right? So it always comes up first in the list because when I type PHO, I'm looking for Photoshop. I press return, it launches. Same thing with Alfred. Alfred puts it first, and if it's not first, I can use a keyboard shortcut to launch it, like this. Okay, 2 additional features in both Launchbar and Alfred are the icing on the cake, at least for me. The first is Clipboard History, which I think everybody should have on their Mac. It makes the Mac OS clipboard that much more useful by saving up to 100 items that you've cut or copied, the last 100 items. So then you can view or select them from the list and reuse them. So All right, we're going to go from Clipboard History. The first is Clipboard History, and that'll be 9. This is 9 cups of coffee. The first is Clipboard History, which makes the macOS clipboard much more useful by saving up to 100 items that you've cut or copied, and then you can view or select them from a list and use them wherever you want by pasting them, and it remembers the last 100 things you cut or copied. So here's what LaunchBar's history clipboard history list looks like, and now here's what Alfred's looks like. Okay. Either one is a huge upgrade from Apple's single item at a time clipboard. Once you start using that, you're going to love it. All right, the second feature that really floats my boat are snippets, which are chunks of boilerplate text that are available for reuse at any time. Now, LaunchBar's implementation is only serviceable, but Alfred's is pretty good. On the other hand, as you saw in Section 1 in Lesson 7, Text Expander or Type It For Me are designed specifically for creating and expanding text snippets, and both do it better than LaunchBar or Alfred. And macOS has it built in, but LaunchBar and Alfred both do it better. So the deal is if you buy LaunchBar or Alfred and they do it well enough to suit your needs, you don't have to get Text Expander or Type It For Me, thus saving however much, $20, $30. Okay, that being said, I do think that snippets are so good and useful and can save you so much time if you use them that you'll probably want to get Text Expander or Type It For Me, a program that specializes in snippets, okay? Now, for what it's worth, I got my first copy of LaunchBar version 3 in probably 2003 or 4 as a free review copy. That was a dozen or more years ago, and I gave it a glowing review. Since then, however, I've paid for every upgrade. It's that useful for me, and I think it's that good. Alfred's a little newer. I'm still using my first review copy, but I think I will happily pay for the next one. Okay, by now, speaking of paying, I bet you're wondering how much this is going to cost you. Okay, here's the deal. The basic version of Alfred, with just app launching and file finding and web searching and, calculations, all the basic features are free and free forever. But if you want to enable the good stuff like snippet expansion, clipboard history, hotkey support, workflows, and much more, you'll have to purchase the Alfred Power Pack. Okay? Now that costs 19 British pounds for a single user, 29 British pounds for a family, or 35 British pounds for a mega supporter with free upgrades for life. I don't know what all that means, but Alfred did. $19 is $24.49, 29 is $37.38, 35 is $45.11, and that was on July 8th of 2017. LaunchBar costs $29 for a single user license, $49 for a family license of up to 5 computers in the same household. But here's the good news. The free trial can be used forever with a catch. According to the manufacturer, if you don't pay, LaunchBar will, and I quote, occasionally invites you to take a short break, allowing you to breathe and relax. That being said, I think if you use it regularly, it would behoove you to reward the developer by paying for a license, a very reasonable sum. That's what I do. The bottom line is that if you're not using LaunchBar or Alfred, you really should be. Either of them is going to save you oodles of time every single day, and they're both free to try and free to use with limited features forever. So what are you waiting for? Download one or the other or both. Here are the URLs. All right, install them, memorize their hotkey, whichever one you're going to install first. Just try it, memorize its hotkey, and then don't forget to use it. Then try the other one. Next, I'm going to introduce you to my favorite one-trick pony. It's called MenuMate, coming right up in lesson number 2.